I'm back. So this morning I'm thinking that song and with the scriptures that are going on and the things that I wanted to share with you and excited about it. But I have to be honest, I'm tired. I'm tired today. I'm exhausted just from life. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I have what it takes this morning. And maybe I should hand it off to Peggy because I'm tired. So where do I get my strength? Well, get my strength from God, but I get encouragement from each and every one of you for being able to be here and see you. And that's what gets me going. That's what keeps me going. And so I'm thinking of, we have a lot of things in our lives that get us going, get us excited. Like maybe thinking about our favorite toys that we might play with. Got a favorite toy? You do? It was always hard for me to pick a favorite. They're all my favorite. You have a favorite? What's your favorite toy? What are you excited about? Play with it. It's a secret. I'll tell you, when I was a kid, maybe one of my favorite toys was my ballerina skirt. You picture me wearing a ballerina skirt right now, it just doesn't fit. Well, if you would have seen me in it, you would have giggled too, because I had a pink ballerina skirt, but the only leotards I had were yellow. But hey, I made it work. Pretended that was my favorite thing. And if I had to give that up to somebody else, I don't know if I could. Think about your favorite toy. If you came across someone who didn't have your favorite toy that you have, would you give it away? Would you be able to give it to them, knowing that could bring them happiness? You see, we're asked to do that every day. We're asked to give our best things away. All that we have. Kind of appropriate to think about today when we honor our service people, past, present, and future. How they're willing to give and have given everything they have. Most days, I don't think I have it in me. So, I'll share with you a couple of verses this morning. Maybe some things that help me every day. Will help all of us every day. In Mark 12, starting with verse 41, he sat down opposite the treasury and watched the crowd putting money into the treasury. Many rich people put in large sums. A poor widow came and put in 2 small copper coins, which are worth a penny. And then he called his disciples and said to them, "Truly, I tell you, this poor widow has put in more than all those who are contributing to the treasury. For all of them have contributed out of their abundance. But she, out of her poverty, has put in everything she had, all she had to live on." Give everything we have. Just to make a short story long, when I work with my cross-country kids and I tell them that they can give more, we usually have an argument. They don't have anything left to give. Well, we got to do a warm-up. That's going to wear me out for the race. We have that discussion. And we have this discussion of giving everything we have. Because most of the time, what it comes down to is we have so much more to give that we don't even know about. We're not even aware of. We don't even know. Because we worry about, what if I get tired? if I have nothing left? What if I give this, then will I have nothing? So this is what I do. I go back to Matthew, chapter 11. And I know I've shared this with you before, verse 28. When I have nothing left, come to me, all you that are weary and carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. It's promised. It's promised. The rest we need will be given when we need it. Everything we have been given to give. Will you pray with me? God, thank you for this day. And today we thank you for those that are sitting around us, those that you have sent to us to encourage us along the way, the ones that reach out their arms and help us out. Help us to know that you give us everything so that we can continue to give. Because your son, Jesus, gave us that example. It's in his name we pray. Amen.
I've got a song I like. This one. Excuse me. A song I like to share with you. It's by the group 10th Avenue North. The name of the song is Warm. W-O-R. And I've heard Jackie begin to say about how she's tired. I don't know if she can do it. This song speaks to that. It's a song for those. I've been in this predicament. I'm going to bet that you have too, where you're going through life and there's so much stuff going on, and you're looking for some little sign of hope, of truth. I hope you like this song. I'm tired, I'm worn, my heart is heavy from the work it takes to keep on breathing. I've made mistakes, I let my hope fail, my soul feels crushed by the weight of this world, and I know that you can give me rest. So I cry out with all that I have left. Let me see redemption win. Let me know the struggle ends. That you can mend a heart that's frail and torn. I wanna know a song can rise from the ashes of a broken life, and all that's dead inside can be reborn. 'Cause I know I need to lift my eyes up, but I'm too weak. Life just won't let up, and I know that you can give me rest. So I cry out with all that I have left. Let me see redemption win. Let me know the struggle ends. That you can mend the heart that's frail and torn. I wanna know a song can rise from the ashes of a broken life, and all that's dead inside can be reborn. 'Cause I'm warm, my prayers are very thin. I'm warm even before the day began. I'm warm, I've lost my will to fight. I'm born to heaven come and from my heart. Every day to every storm. But you can never hide. That's where it's wrong. I wanna know a song can rise from the ashes of broken life, and all that's dead inside can be reborn. Yes, all that's dead inside can be reborn. Oh, I'm warm. Yeah, I'm warm. I invite you to hear these words in the book of Hebrews. Just a few verses from chapter 1. For Christ did not enter a man-made sanctuary that was only a copy of the true one. He entered heaven itself, now to appear for us in God's presence. Nor did he enter heaven to offer himself again and again the way a high priest enters the most holy place every year with blood that is not his own. Then Christ would have had to suffer many times since the creation of the world. But now he has appeared once for all at the end of the ages to do away with sin by the sacrifice of himself. Just as man is destined to die once and after that to face judgment, so Christ was sacrificed once to take away the sins of many people. And he will appear a second time, not to bear sin, but to bring salvation to those who are waiting for him. Now, this is the end of the reading for today, but I want to add just a couple more verses. Day after day, every priest stands and performs his religious duties. Again and again, he offers the same sacrifices, which can never take away sin. But when this priest had offered for all time one sacrifice for sins, he sat down at the right hand of God. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. A couple of weeks ago, I don't know if you noticed. I know that some of you did because I saw things you posted on Facebook. It's an unusual event. It happens in the fall. And I'm not sure how it triggers. But when you see it, if you see it, there's this shimmer across the top of the harvested field. And it's millions and millions of spider. Somehow, in the wonder of the creative nature of our God, this trigger goes off in spiders on the spider calendar. Today is the day, and they shoot these spider webs into the prevailing breeze, and it picks up the spider and carries them. And I don't know what they do when they get out there, but it literally covers the ground with this shimmer, if you happen to see it. If you happen to see it. And I see that, and I hear our creative God speaking to my heart.
Did you see? I did that just for you. Those words today from Hebrews. The writer of Hebrews is a really long, they say this is a sermon. I'm very sure you guys would not sit long enough to hear all of Hebrews preached. But it's this long argument that the writer of Hebrews sets up to use all the stuff of the Old Testament to convince his readers who this Jesus is. And what happened on that cross. And I'm back to that line from God. Did you see it? I did that just for you. Because there were, in Jesus' time, at the time of his death, there were probably thousands of people that witnessed what happened. It was a high day, a festival day in Jerusalem, so the city is overwhelming with people. Some say it goes up into the millions when this happens. And they know what happened to Jesus. Some of them saw with their own eyes him hanging on a cross outside the city walls where he died. But the writer of Hebrews says, that's, what you see with your eyes, but do you see the bigger picture here? What was happening was Christ on that cross before the throne of God. Cosmically, there, in this moment that the Apostle Paul would call in the fullness of time, offering his life once for all the sin of the world. Did you see it? I did that just for you. He makes these connections back to, the writer makes these connections back to the Day of Atonement in the Jewish tradition. And then on the Day of Atonement, the high priest, and only the high priest, would make two sacrifices. One for himself, the first one, for his own sin. And then he would make a sacrifice for the sin of the people. And some of the blood from that sacrifice he would carry into the Holy of Holies. And that was a place in the temple where this huge, heavy curtain separated it from the rest of the people. And behind that curtain was the mercy seat of God. In earlier times, behind that temple was the Ark of the Covenant. And the high priest would take that blood with a cord tied around his leg in case he was to be struck dead by God while in there so that they could pull his body out. He would take this blood in and sprinkle it on the mercy seat and offer it to God for the sins of the people. And the people would wait anxiously to see him come out from behind the curtain. Because when he came out from behind the curtain, then they knew that the sacrifice was sufficient and that they were forgiven for their sins for that year. Because a year later, he'd do it all over. And what the writer of Hebrews is saying is that this whole temple thing and the curtain of the Holy of Holies and all this is just imaginary. It's an image. It's constructed by human hands. It's close, but it's no cigar. And what he was doing was an imitation. A sort of precursor, if you would from what was to come when Christ did. When Jesus took upon us the sin of the world and took it before God and died. His blood sealing the deed and from that moment on, sin is defeated. It's no longer as a whole. He did it for all. I came across a story. Some young college guys are home over a break, watching them go home for break. Stuff can happen. And they got to having a really good time in this one drinking establishment and caused a scene. And anyway, the cops came and they arrested him. Took him down to the sheriff's office and put him in the holding room. And one of the young men decided that he would use his one phone call to call an elder of the church to come and get him out. Because he knew his spoke for his dad. So he calls this elder of the church, and the elder comes down, and he goes in, goes to the sheriff, and the sheriff takes him in this holding room where they're holding these boys, and the guy recognizes him. Hi, Bill, how are you? And I'm glad you could come. And he looks over the crowd and these boys, and there were several of them. He goes, well, how many of you guys are baptized? And they all held up their hand. And Bill looks at the sheriff and says, I'll take them all. When we are connected to Christ and what he's done for us through his baptism, his claim is upon us. He takes us all. Sin has no power over us anymore. It's defeated. How do I know that? It's because of that last verse that I shared. That he doesn't have to go back and do this time and time again. When Jesus died on the cross and rose, and then at his ascension, it says, and he sat down at the right hand of God. My wife and I enjoy some shows on PBS. Downton Abbey was a good one. And if you look at the service in Downton Abbey, whenever they were at work, if they're on the lower level of the house, they're in their own territory, but when they're up with the family that they work for, they never sat down. They were always standing. When they served those elegant meals, there was always the servant standing. I remember one episode when old Carlton had a little spell, and they sat him in a chair. The hiker broke his heart, and they sat him down. Christ, the servant king, sits at the right hand of God. His work is complete. Hallelujah. Amen. I got a song here. I'll put it right here. It's it is. The words are going to seem familiar. The tune is familiar too, but it's a little broken up, and we throw a bunch of hallelujahs in. So it's good. So I invite you to stand. I'm trying not to mess this up too bad. Get your left foot.